Hello everyone, we are discussing stoichiometric relationships and I am Vaishali Kikan. So let's start our discussion with the first question of the day where ethanol is reacted with ethanoic acid to form ethyl ethanoate and water. So the formula of ethanol is C2H5OH, ethanoic acid is CH3COOH, it is going to form CH3COO, C2H5 plus H2O, that is water. Right, so if the yield of ethyl ethanoate obtained when 20 gram of ethanol is reacted with excess ethanoic acid is 30.27 gram, calculate the percentage yield. So we are given what is the actual yield, we need to find out the percentage yield. The formula for percentage yield is actual yield upon theoretical yield into 100. Actual yield is given in the question itself, we need to find out theoretical yield. Theoretical yield can be calculated with the number of moles, right? So if I know the number of moles of the output, I know the molar mass of the output, I will multiply them and I will be getting the output weight. Right, that is my theoretical yield. So first of all, we need to know what is the limiting reactant which is forming the output. Right, so here you can see the C2H5OH is the limiting reactant because the ethanoic acid is present in excess. So the molar mass of C2H5OH is given 46.08. We can calculate it, right? Because the molar mass of C is known, H is known, O is known, we can calculate it. Number of moles of C2H5OH can also be computed because the mass of the C2H5OH is given, which is 20 grams. So 20 when divided by the molar mass 46.08, it is going to give me 0.4340 mole, and this is how we will be getting the number of moles of C2H5OH, right? So 1 mole of C2H5OH is going to give me 1 mole of CH3CO C2H5. So this you can see from the question itself, and if I have 0.4340 mole of C2H5OH, it is obviously giving me 0.4340 mole of CH3COO C2H5. Now I know how many moles of CH3COO C2H5 are present. So from the moles I can calculate the output weight, that is the theoretical yield. So mass of CH3COO C2H5 can be calculated by multiplying the moles with the molar mass. The molar mass of CH3COO C2H5 is 88.12. So it is multiplied with 0.4340 and we are getting 38.24 gram. That is my theoretical yield. So actual yield, it is given in the question 30.27. 30.27 divided by 38.24 is multiplied with 100, we are getting 79.15%. So this is how we can calculate the percentage yield. Coming to the next question, it states consider the reaction between magnesium and nitrogen. So 3Mg is going to react with nitrogen. It is going to form the Mg3N2. This is in the solid state. 10 gram of Mg is reacted with 5 gram of nitrogen, which is the limiting reactant. Now we have to know what is the limiting reactant. So with the help of this question, we are going to understand the limiting reactants as well. So number of moles of magnesium we can find out. So 10 gram of magnesium is given and the molar mass of magnesium is known, that is 24.31. We can find out the number of moles of magnesium, that is 0.4114, right? Number of moles of nitrogen can also be computed in the similar manner. The amount of nitrogen is given, that is 5 gram. So 5 gram divided by the molar mass of nitrogen, that is 28.02. It is going to give me 0.178 mole. Now I know the moles of magnesium, the moles of nitrogen. From the reaction, it is clear that 3 moles of magnesium are going to react with 1 mole of nitrogen. If I have 0.4114 mole of magnesium, it is going to react with 0.4114 upon 3, that is 0.1371 mole of nitrogen. But how many moles of nitrogen are present? 0.178. How much is required? 0.1371. Means nitrogen is in excess. In the reaction, all of the magnesium will get consumed out, but nitrogen will not. So magnesium over here is the limiting reactant. When the magnesium will get consumed out, our reaction will get stopped. So required N2 is 0.1371, but given N2 is greater than that, which is 0.178. So N2 is in excess and magnesium is the limiting reactant. So I hope you understood this. Now coming to the next question. Consider the reaction between sulfur and fluorine. Sulfur plus 3F2 is going to give me SF6. 10 gram of sulfur reacts with 10 gram of fluorine, which is the limiting reactant. That we need to find out what mass of sulfur fluoride is formed, what mass of reactant in excess is left at the end. So first of all, we need to find out what is the limiting reactant, what is the mass of the output, what is the excess amount of the product that is left, right? So first of all, we will be finding out the moles of sulfur, the moles of fluorine. So the given amount is 10 grams, so 10 divided by the molar mass of sulfur, which is 32.07, we will be getting 0.3118 mole. moles of fluorine can also be calculated, 10 upon 38, which is 0.2632 moles. So you can see from the reaction, 1 mole of sulfur requires 3 moles of fluorine to react with it, right? So now 1 mole of sulfur reacts with 3 moles of fluorine. So if I take 0.3118 mole of sulfur, it is going to react with 3 times of fluorine. We know from here the fluorine is lesser than that, right? So it is in the limiting amount. Fluorine is in smaller amount, so it is the limiting reactant, right? So reaction stops when the limiting reactant is used up completely. So we need to understand that when the fluorine is reacted completely, the reaction will stop. So now here we have 0.2632 mole of F2, and this we are using to find out how much output is produced. So 0.2632 mole of F2 is going to produce 0.2632 upon 3 amount of SF6. So it is 0.08773 mole of SF6 that is produced if I use 0.2632 mole of F2, because F2 was limiting reactant, we used it. Molar mass of SF6 we can calculate. It is 146.07 gram per mole, and the amount of SF6 formed can be calculated by multiplying the number of moles with the molar mass. So 146.07 multiplied with 0.08773, it is going to give me 12.81 gram. Now here, from here we know the sulfur is in excess, and what would be left out at the output? Sulfur would be left out. So how much sulfur would be left out? So it would be 0.3118 minus 1/3 of 0.2632. So this much amount of sulfur it's consumed, right, for the reaction. So 1 mole of sulfur is reacting with 3 mole of fluorine, and if I have 1 mole of fluorine, it is going to react with 1/3 mole of sulfur. So fluorine amount is 0.2632, it is going to react with 0.2632 upon 3 mole of sulfur. So now it is 0.08773, this is sulfur. So now the sulfur that is left at the end of the reaction is 0.3118, which was given sulfur, minus the used sulfur, which is 0.08773, which is 0.2241 moles. Now I will multiply this moles with the molar mass of the sulfur, 32.07, and we will be getting 7.187 gram. This much amount of sulfur will be left. Now coming to the next question, for the reaction for FeCr2O4 plus 8 Na2CO3 plus 7 O2 gives 8 Na2CrO4 plus Fe2O3 twice plus 8 CO2. There are 100 grams of each reactant. Calculate the limiting reactant. So here we are not proceeding with the full process that we have discussed. We are going here with a shortcut. So here you can see we can find out the moles of each of the reactants, right? This is the actual process, but here what we are finding out, we are finding out the mass of the given substance, right? The given reactant's mass is found out. So the molar mass and the coefficients are multiplied. So 4 is multiplied with the molar mass of FeCr2O4. So 223.85 multiplied with 4. For here we are multiplying 8 with 105.99. For here we are multiplying 7 with 32. So because equal amount of initial product was given, so 895.40 amount of FeCr2O4 is reacted with 847.92 amount of Na2CO3, and it is reacted with 224 gram of oxygen. From here you can see the largest amount is used for FeCr2O4. Highest mass required is of FeCr2O4. So it will be consumed out first, it will be running out first, and this is how we can find out the limiting reactants as well. So I hope you understood all of the questions. Thank you so much.